Hello, I'm Margaret Kinsman. I entered Antioch in 1963 and graduated in 1968.
You were one of the two famous actors on the Antioch campus producing a film called The Date.
Yes.
What led you to be interested in doing that?
I majored in English Lit and minored in education, but I hung out a lot with the drama people, and I remember what fun we had making that film. And thank goodness seeing it again last night wasn't too embarrassing, so that's good. The co-op program was crucial to me. It was why I wanted to come here. And I loved it, I thrived on it. I worked at the Washington Post newspaper for 6 months. I remember the print room downstairs, the thundering rollers. It was fabulously exciting to be in Washington, D.C. in the late 60s. I can remember being sent in taxis to the White House to pick up the day's press releases to bring them back to the Post. That was hugely informative because it was contemporary politics unfolding before your eyes. And it was historic, and the reporters were wonderful to us young people.
Do you remember your first co-op job or the co-op job that was the most significant for you in informing your career or life experiences?
My senior year, when I was appointed the senior fellow in the admissions office, and the two previous holders of the post had been men, and I thought a woman could do it, so I applied. I drove up and down the East Coast, I went to high schools, I interviewed students, I worked with alums in the area, I did press conferences, I did all kinds of things, and it was a hugely professional job, and I loved it. I thrived on it. But it led to what I did after I graduated in '68, when I didn't really know what I wanted to do next. And there was a 2-year vacancy coming up in the admissions office to cover a couple of sabbaticals, and I was appointed to cover those 2 years. So from '68 to '70, I lived in Yellow Springs and worked as a full-fledged admissions officer, and loved it. Had a wonderful time. After the 2 years in the admissions office, I went to London to run the Antioch Year in London program, and eventually made my way into the British higher education system, where I taught in a very small English department. So I taught drama. I took students to plays and was able to indulge my love of going to the theatre. Antioch opened that door as well by sending me to London on a 1-year contract, and then I forgot to come home for quite a while.
It sounded like you really got the best out of Antioch.
I'd always wanted to come here, always. My high school counselor, when I mentioned it to her, said, no dear, why don't you think about Bennington? I said, absolutely not, I'm going to Antioch. And I did. Yes, wherever you go in the world and meet an Antiochian, there's an instant conversation. It's so easy.
Well, thank you very much for helping us, Margaret. You've been great.
Okay, you're very welcome.